I don't know if you remember this from year 4 when I used to talk about the comfort zone, stretch zone and panic zone, that at times we will all go into our panic zone where we become overwhelmed by the task in hand. And ideally, we want to get ourselves back in the stretch zone. It's when we learn best. It's when we perform at our best. And I was really kind of surprised when I heard you in an interview, and this was after you had become European champion, and you said that you'd had a really tough start to the year. You couldn't do any of your dives. You were terrified of diving. You said, I was petrified of everything, and I was actually really close to quitting. So I just wanted to ask, like, how did you get from that frame of mind, that mindset, to several months later, you know, diving again, or not just diving again, but becoming Commonwealth and European champion? Can you talk me through what happened?
Yeah, so what happens in diving sometimes is you have mental blocks, and these mental blocks, they stop you from diving, really. And I always think, and I always say that diving is more mentally challenging than physically challenging, because if you can physically do every single dive, but if your mind isn't there, you won't do the dives. And I struggle with those since the age of 13, 14. And it's something that I've learned to cope with, and I'm getting a lot better with dealing with, actually. And after the Olympics, they just got worse. They were slightly there at the Olympics, but I managed to hold them down just because it was the Olympics. I mean, I had to compete. It was a huge competition, and it was my dream. I was not giving up. But after, they got so bad to the point where I couldn't even do the simplest dive. And it took me a really long time. It took me 5 months to get up the courage to say, like, I need to take a break, and I need to start from scratch, because by the looks of it, I'm either gonna quit or I'm gonna start this slow progress. And I actually said that I wasn't gonna compete until I was ready. And my coach, who was then Alex, he said, let's not make any rash decisions, because at that point I was desperate to just fix everything, and I just wanted to stop and rest. But I'm really happy that he told me that not to make any irrational decisions. And we slowly, we began building my confidence. And this started with, just encouraging me and giving me really, really positive feedback even if I did the most simplest dive. And after a few weeks, it was getting better. And I started to become really consistent in training, and that definitely helped with confidence. But yeah, I think the reason why I came out of it was because of the people that I relied on, because of my family, because of my coach, my friends, and their encouragement, and the fact that I was ready to give up on myself, but they weren't ready to give up on me. And so that was very, very powerful and helpful in transforming, really.
Yeah, it's an amazing turnaround, and it's a brilliant example of, when I talk to other teachers about the panic zone, stretch zone, comfort zone, I always say that, if you've got children in your class and you can see they're straying into that panic zone, the most important thing is giving them reassurance and support, because they cannot learn, they cannot perform anything in that state of mind. And actually, you might need to get them back into their comfort zone first, and then gradually, little bit by little bit, kind of nudge them into their stretch zone. You don't just put them straight back into that scary situation. So yeah, it's really great to know that even at elite athlete level, that's kind of what needs to happen. If people start to panic, take it back to the basics and build from there.
That's why in pre-season is very important, because you go back to the basics, you go back to the technique, the simple dives. We all joke and we say that simple dives are the hardest, because they're so precise. When you do the really easy dives, you've done them when you were little, but the technique evolves after years of doing them, and also your body needs to get used to spinning again, exercising again. So yeah, starting from from the first steps and then going back up is definitely it definitely builds strength, physical and mental strength.